Conference will now be recorded.
Welcome, everyone. Today is Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. It's now 6 p.m. This is a meeting of the Heber Valley Animal Services Board. The board members that are in attendance are Chief Parker Sever, Sheriff Jared Rigby, myself, Heidi Franco, Heber Lefgren from Wasatch County Representative, and then we have other staff members here, Justin Hatch, our Animal Services Director. We have Holly Argetta, thank you, here also. And then is anyone else online? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so we hope that the others will join us, but we do have a quorum of 4. So that means we can vote today. Okay, let's see. Any public comments that anyone's received? There's no public in the room. There's no public online. Okay, we will go past the public comments. The first action item is the consent agenda, which is the minutes from the May 2025 and July 2025 meetings. We also have a sheet that Chief Sever just handed out of just the budget update from July to the middle of October for fiscal year 2026. So that could be part of the approval of the consent agenda. We do not have a proposed 2026 advisory board meeting schedule yet, but we will definitely. So we have the 2 items, I should say the 3 items on the consent agenda. Hello, welcome. This is Heidi Franco. Tell us who you are, please.
Hi there. I'm Heidi Black, and I'm the board chair for Pause for Life Utah.
Oh, thank you, Heidi. I'm so glad to meet you. We appreciate you coming. We're just getting started, and we'll be calling on you probably in just a bit, okay?
Okie doke. Thank you.
All right, so board members, we have it's really the April 8th, 2025 minutes, the July 8th, 2025 minutes, and then this approval of what has been spent so far in the budget, or just, that we look at it. Would anybody like to make that motion or have any questions or comments?
Sure, I'll motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. Okay, let's take the vote. All in favor of approval of these items on the consent agenda?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. 4-0. Okay, now we're going to go to Chief Sever or Justin Hatch for updates, talking about the animal services, the staffing, the shelter. You've got a couple of examples on billing, a new
I'll let
badge.
Justin talk about that.
Okay, and then you've also
The animals from the other cities.
Yeah, you've got a new policy on owner surrender, and
Also the
and you have a cleaned up violation and fee schedule. Go ahead and dive in.
Billing non-participant jurisdictions for animals not reclaimed.
Mhm.
So like Charleston had a Malamute.
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, so we had a Malamute, black Malamute Shepherd mix that,
So it's not Malamute, like I said.
Malamute.
So this was so this was the one, the Malamute from Charleston. The shepherd was actually found down the street from the shelter.
Okay,
So
Okay.
2 separate dogs. Sorry.
Okay. so this dog from Charleston was brought in by Wasatch County. It spent 41 days at the shelter. Nobody reclaimed it. So the shelter ended up with $440 that nobody's come forth to pay. So we need to know, does the board want to start billing these non-participating jurisdictions when we impound an animal like that? Or do we just not worry about the fees that are occurred?
So you knew the location because of how you obtained the animal in the first
Mhm.
place? Okay.
Yeah,
What was the purpose of the impound?
just a dog running a large that sheriff's department was called out on.
How have we done it in the past?
So it does say in there that we can bill them, but I don't know what grounds we have to actually collect it if they don't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If an owner would have come in, or if we could have located an owner, we would have billed them
Sure, sure.
through that. But where nobody come forth, and the dog wasn't chipped or any way to track an owner back.
I mean, personally, I think there's pros, like, the sheriff's deputies brought it in and the county does pay.
Yeah.
So I'm good with not doing anything, because I don't know if we really have a mechanism to actually recover it or not. However, it might be good to bill them just so that they can see that the service is being provided, even if they don't pay. So I don't know what everybody's thoughts are on it.
Did you want, what do you think about that?
So I wonder if we need to put a mechanism in there that we can identify, like when the sheriff brings an animal like this in, that we have a mechanism to kind of track why the sheriff impounded. Was it a county resident calling the sheriff saying pick up an animal? Or was the sheriff's addressing another issue and had to impound that animal in the process?
Mhm.
I don't know what your thoughts are, Sheriff, but my thoughts are if residents of Charleston is calling the county for animal related stuff, that we should not be responding, the sheriff should not be responding to animal related service requests. But if the sheriff is responding to a different call and has to address the animals in the process, then yeah, that would be on part of our service. And so I don't know what your thoughts are, Jared.
Yeah, so I'm not opposed to it. I think that the cost is minimal, and so I think that it's something like this is possible to do. With that said, I think in the future too that if we do go this route, that we'd want to actually budget for it and talk some more about it. But yeah, that's where I'd sit on it right now.
So we don't know the circumstances of what brought about.
It wouldn't be hard to find out, but you do.
Yeah, no, it was just, somebody called, I believe somebody called into dispatch. Person had the dog caught, wanted it picked up. Sheriff's Department responded, picked the dog up and brought it out to the shelter.
Okay, so it was
Providing the service in the jurisdiction that doesn't pay for it, but likewise, you guys do it in the entire county, so we'll always, if any sheriff's deputy picks up anything, we're gonna take care of it.
right.
Yeah, so one other thought is that you could bill us, and then we could have some more discussion with the town and see where it's going to go. But one way or the other, we could still work something out.
I think regardless, if you're picking it up, it covers under our tab.
Yeah, I wouldn't, even if we sent you the bill, I would not expect you to pay it ever.
Yeah, so I think I'm less concerned about that. I'm more concerned about the natural possible negative consequence of people from Charleston calling in animal care services saying, hey, I have this stray dog. And you all saying, we don't provide that service for your county. You need to talk to your administrator. And they turn around and call the sheriffs, and the sheriff responds and picks it up. I think if we just notify, I think if we do a good job of notifying ahead of time all the counties, so hey, you're not part of this, our service, so we'll bill you as those
I
occasions
think we
come
did
up.
that last year.
Yeah, you sent a letter out.
Then I think as long as we're repeatedly, people tend to forget, as long as we keep on, then yeah, then we bill the cities of saying we're providing a service. I don't know. So that's my thinking is.
Cause I can send the bill to Charleston and just see what they say about it. I mean, if they don't pay it, I don't.
Why not? Yeah, why not?
At least, what's that?
I said, why not?
Yeah,
If we have an email that we have sent to the city of saying, you're not part of our program, so because you're not doing that, we will charge you, like say, anything that comes up, we'll just charge you along as it comes up. Then, yeah, I would say send a bill with that email of that warning, because we put them on notice. It's just saying, you could be part of this group, but if you're not, we'll take it as things come up. And so
So because we've warned them, last year when we did the MOU.
And I'll pull it
And
up.
you've
and
also
make sure
contacted
what
them
we put in
again
there.
and said, do you want to join us or not, right? And here's your price breakdown and so forth. So I think it would be good to reach out consistently and say.
I believe there was
"Here's
2
this bill."
letters sent when we first started talking about the MOU. And then once everybody signed the MOU, you
Mhm.
send out another letter. That's
Mhm.
ringing a bell with me.
Yeah.
I remember, I think you reached out to him a couple of times at least.
It has been, I've had several conversations, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, they don't want the
And
expense.
it's been in writing, huh?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like insurance. I mean, I just had a conversation with Utah's Indigent Defense Fund, where they have, if you want to participate in this program for capital cases,
Mm.
we'll pay for the capital cases. I look at the price, I go, nope, we're not doing that. But there's always runs the risk that there's a capital case that now all of a sudden I have to spend $1 million on. And so I think that that's what we're doing here, is we're saying you can either be part of this, where the price is set, or if your residents keep on asking, then we'll.
But I
address
mean,
it.
this, like, for Charleston, this one case, I think is close to what they would be, it was probably half of what they would have been charged for the entire year.
You might mention that too.
Yeah.
Chief.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I remember what I got, pull up emails and see what their cost estimate was, but I don't think it was that much. And then, okay, so we'll look at them, we'll see how they respond, we'll let you know. So Animal Services wanted a badge.
Yes,
let's
how do
see.
I?
What's that?
Or she can pull that.
Oh,
up
you can,
too.
perfect.
Remind me how to do that.
Share.
And so we came up with
Do
a
you have
couple
it on your
different
screen?
designs to see what everybody
screen?
thought about
And
it.
then you find that it'll pull up all your screens and you can share the badge.
Okay, just do that.
You've got it there somewhere. If you don't have it pulled up, then
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, you'd have
Sorry.
somewhere there. There you go.
Bear with me, I'm still
There you
learning.
go. Oh, that's nice. That's very
there's
nice.
two different ones there
The
that
flag
they
and the
liked.
dog, not bad. And the eagle, I like the eagle.
So we just wanted to have a general discussion if anybody was opposed to it or if they, which one they preferred.
Not sharing on everybody's
Can you,
screen. No.
No.
no, how do I see this now? I'm just on my
Yeah.
phone here. Can someone just text that to me?
Just a minute, we're gonna try one more time to share it.
They
So,
go into,
Oh, he's still on their phone though.
you still have to go back to
Yeah,
share.
so go
Yeah,
to
I'm just on my
share.
phone.
And
I'm
Jen,
on-
share
What's your
screen.
phone number?
Share the screen.
Eight-
and then click the
Yeah,
screen.
click that.
What's
Yep,
that?
And then
And then-
share.
Okay.
Sorry.
860-916-8854.
Scoot up
Thank you.
on your screen. Scoot up.
What was
the
your first
picture.
three?
860.
Draw that all the
Okay.
way up.
Got it.
Oh, there it
you
goes.
go.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
Sorry, bear with me. I'm not tech savvy.
Well, I don't know which ones the staff likes, okay? I just like the gold around the top
Yeah.
because it's more like.
Yeah, I think they're different enough from a law enforcement badge, both of them,
Mm-hmm.
that I think with the public seeing it, they're not gonna think that they're officers, especially that it gets so bright with the dog in the middle. I personally prefer the gold one
But I'm
over the
open.
other, but I'm,
What does staff like?
I like the gold one.
I like the blue one.
Can't see it.
Okay. Okay.
and that's why we're asking you.
Whatever works.
Okay.
I don't know if the Heber City has a, what's the word?
The Heber
An
City
image.
badge is more the gold one, that's all.
I don't know if they have a concern, if your PR person has a concern about saying, we want to tie this to Heber City, so you're, from my perspective, I don't think it matters,
I don't think it matters either.
so. I don't know if you want it instead of the flag with the dog, if you want to
All
put
right, just getting it.
your, what is the image, your
The logo.
logo in there,
Do you have a
so it's
logo?
your logo.
Yeah, we'll be discussing that
Okay.
here in a second.
I think these are awesome.
Yeah.
I just got it.
Yeah. Do you have any preference that you like, Heidi?
Well, the blue stands out a little more.
Would you make it shiny?
And it's-
Shiny badge?
Yeah, it would be,
No.
yeah, it's shinier. It's,
Okay.
both of them are, the weather one would be like a shiny silver with the
Mhm.
gold. The other one is blue and it's shiny silver as well.
Is
Okay.
the plan to put it on the shirt or to put it on the belt?
Probably both. And there'd be an embroidery on.
Oh, embroidery would be nice too.
Yeah.
But what
And if it's
color is the
embroidered,
regular?
then it
Hard,
would be.
hard choice, you guys. I just think the blue one stands out more. It's bigger and
Oh, they're
I like
both
both of them.
similar. They're going to both be similar in size.
Hey,
What color
Chief?
is your
Yeah.
regular shirt? The blue?
These,
I just meant the dog stands out more.
Oh,
What was
gotcha.
that?
They're both awesome.
Is that one?
Chief Sever.
Yeah.
I think we talked about, did we talk about doing an actual badge? I think we were just doing embroidery, right? Or are we doing,
Oh,
did you want to do an actual badge?
thought we was gonna do,
I think it's only two. I'm not super concerned about it. I thought it might be good for the photos and stuff that we take to have a regular badge as well.
Okay.
Or just for the animal services photos.
So it'd be comparable size.
Yeah, they'd be the same size, just different designs.
Sounds good to me. But, you know, you've got a third staff member at least. Do they have a preference?
if I remember right, she liked the gold.
Gold and gold, they're both awesome.
So I would
Both
for
great.
your shirts, have whatever your logo is and just be the logo, and then the badge that you clip on for the officers. Because then your shirts can go, your part-time staff, your kennel
Mhm.
attendants across the board is the same shirt. But then
Yes, correct.
Badges
the
have the-
badges stick out
Mhm.
and give those officers a little more authority.
Mhm. I like that idea.
Sounds
Do
good.
you have any preference, Jared?
Yeah, so can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so I want to be supportive of it, and I think that if the animal services staff is up to doing that, and that's something that they want to do, then I want to be supportive of it.
Well, if it's okay, then why don't I'll just have
Okay.
them vote on it and see where we end up.
I always like the
Sounds
embossing
good.
badge with the outside X's and so
Okay.
forth. I like
And
that.
then, owner surrenders, Holly, how are those going?
So we have not started the owner surrender policy. I didn't know if in the last meeting where we couldn't put anything to a vote, if that's something we needed
Yes.
to vote on
Okay.
or.
Oh, that's
Now we
right,
can.
'cause we can.
Yeah.
Now we can.
So,
Do you want to go over that? I think you're probably the most knowledgeable.
yeah, I can do that. Let me.
Hi, Hallie.
Hi. How are you doing?
You good? How
I
you
can,
doing?
yeah, the last meeting from the meeting before that, we came up with an owner surrender policy. And it's kind of a little bit different. We found some examples from some other states and we thought it'd be a good idea where we actually put some onus. We don't just take animals in, but we put some onus on them to make it a little bit difficult for them to turn in their animals.
Mhm.
And then we have like, they're only allowed to turn in one a year. So we can't get these people that just don't like their
Smart.
dog and start turning them in multiples. They can't turn it in without an ID so that we know that we're dealing with this person. They can't turn them in on behalf of somebody else. Just things of that. And then also there's like cooling off period where they have to make an appointment with us in order to turn in their dog. And during that time, we can post the dog online and provide them additional resources to possibly place the animal before we take the animal in.
Yeah.
Which makes,
I like it.
I think those things make a lot of sense. Instead of just if you make it too easy, people will just drop off animals, and that's not acceptable.
So let me ask you this: do we have a standard form that they have to fill out when they're surrendering an animal? Because lots of times it just
and
means
in
that we
fact,
just
I know you don't have access. I can.
Italy for information.
Is that the entire? No, it's not.
It goes down further.
Yeah.
I can probably take a photo of it and send it to you, just
Oh,
so
right,
it has
she's
some of the
wonderful.
requirements.
That's very good of you, Chief. I appreciate that. Okay, go ahead and scroll on up, please.
Okay.
Because I realize
just
this
makes-
is a much.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Heidi.
Number 2.
I was
Number
just going to say, it just makes it so much easier to find these animals' homes the more information we have.
Oh, that's very good to
Cat
know.
friendly and dog friendly and,
Oh, wait, there's more.
being around kids and cetera.
So Holly, I think Holly
I know you
did
try,
this,
right?
and I think Holly did a great job.
Do you want to scroll
Thank
up
you.
anymore?
Oh,
And-
that's as far as it goes.
Awesome.
So, my concern was, is that this puts a lot more lengthier burden on you too, not just the owner, but on
Mhm.
you.
Yeah.
And you know, you have to walk them through all the steps and make sure they're doing it step by step, and you'll probably have to have some big Excel spreadsheet for the,
Mhm.
you know, the dates and all of, did they do the checklist
Oh, yeah.
kind of a thing? But are you ready to do that, or do you feel like that's going to be a lot of time?
Yeah, I feel like it's something I'll find a way to squeeze in there. It
Yeah.
is.
So
Because if it gets the animals moved quicker, right?
It does. Having more information and, well, if they're honest about it, that's
Yeah, that's true.
that helps. But
Well,
I'm
yeah,
hoping
that's
that.
it.
And
You
I think
never
we're
know.
also gonna
Yeah.
do it by residents as well, so they can just
Mhm.
multiple, it's by their ID and also the residents, so you
Yeah.
can have so, you know, 3 different people living at the same house, turning in 3 different dogs from the same residence.
Smart.
Yeah.
That's
That's
true.
the top. It's
Yeah.
the.
That is good.
There's a lot of little nuances
So-
we might have to make some adjustments throughout time as
Oh,
we
yeah.
see something else.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
So I have a question. What is the current policy for owner surrender right now? If somebody just showed up, they can't do it, right?
We don't take
them.
any.
Yeah, we
Right.
don't take them. Yeah,
And
we
I
just
think that
give
is
them
causing a
resource.
huge issue in the rescue world. Because
Yeah.
as you guys know, people are just dumping animals everywhere and anywhere because and some people are desperate, right? And they're just
Yeah.
dumping animals in boxes and et cetera, et cetera. So it'd be great that
We've had them
we
in the
do take more
river.
owner surrenders.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had them
exactly.
through boxes and thrown in the river more than, it
Exactly.
happens every year,
Mhm.
usually cats.
Mhm.
Yeah. we
But
have
that's not
something
an
like that.
uncommon policy. That's actually more common than not, is to not take any owner surrenders.
Yeah, a lot of the shelters are doing that,
Yeah.
that I've talked to.
Since
But this
COVID,
was
yeah,
kind of
but
something that we found online where a place was doing it to make it a little bit, and we also charge a fee for them to surrender it as well.
Yeah.
So it's
How
not,
much is
not a
that?
huge, it's on the pictures I sent you.
Yeah.
It's the one, it
Oh, did
looks
I
like an
computer?
Excel
Okay, hang on.
spreadsheet box. So
Okay.
there's a fee for the
Awesome.
vaccinations, spay, neuter, if it's not, and stuff like that.
Yeah. So the spay and neuter and the vaccine, as long
Got
as they
it.
can
Okay.
prove that it's been done, those will be waived.
And then yeah, correct, if it's had it, then it'll be waived.
Yeah.
$100, good.
So you get the process started, somebody files with you, makes the application, and then you get information
Mhm.
out there on the animal to see if anyone can adopt it,
Mhm.
right? And that includes to shelters, is that right?
So.
And then we
I
only take,
can-
the other thing, we
Or
only take
two.
surrenders from the participating entities.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
but, you know, if you could reach out to the various shelters or, you know, organizations to
Mhm.
see if they can help too, I think that's all fine. But then once there's somebody that wants to adopt them or can take the animal, then you have the animal brought in, right?
So what we would do during that 3-week kind of waiting period is we would post them on our courtesy posting service. And I've
Mhm.
posted a few animals on there. It hasn't been like the biggest hit, but it's helped a little bit.
I don't know if anybody really knows about that. We
Yeah.
need to advertise it more.
Yeah.
We can actually, we can
do
put
that.
it
You know
on
what I'm
next.
saying?
Yeah, I like that.
Newsletter, the city
city news.
newsletters and things like, I mean, at least.
Well, another thing I think we need to discuss with this is, do we take bite animals?
Bite.
That's farther
animal?
down. We'll
Is
talk
that,
about
are we
that.
gonna talk
Yep.
about that? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, once we post it on the courtesy posting service, it's, if someone's interested, they directly contact the owner of the animal, and then they
Okay.
can go through their, the adoption process with them. It doesn't even
Together.
have to deal with the shelter. They just need to let us know if that animal's been adopted. And I was planning on having like follow-ups.
You know,
Yeah.
something with the adoption, I don't know if it's, I never even really thought about it, but I can't remember if it's in this or not, but do you think there should be a waiver that we have everybody sign when they adopt an animal, that
It's in our
it's in the
contract.
thing?
Mhm.
Okay, that's why I can't.
Yeah, we
remember.
can't.
So they
Yeah.
can't complain if something.
Well,
was
or
left out.
sue us for,
Yeah.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
a dog that bites a kid or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? And biting is, define bite, right? People just make it up. They want to jump their animals too.
True.
Yeah.
But there's no way to prove that, which,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if it goes owner to next owner, there's no fees involved, is that right?
Yeah, it would just be between the two
Okay,
And we're just
independent
facilitating
parties.
an adoption, which
Yeah.
is great.
but if it's
But if it comes into the shelter,
shelter,
then we charge it.
then we charge, okay.
Yeah,
And
and they
then
will,
you're going to tell them all that, of course. when
yes, at
you-
the beginning when they first apply for
Yeah,
the surrender. Yeah, at the beginning, they'll have to fill out, the form and the application to let us know about their animal so we can post it. And they'll be made aware of the surrender fees and everything and documentation they need to provide.
so Chief or Justin, when this policy gets up and running, let's be sure to put it in the county newsletter and the city newsletters, but also the Midway, right?
Mhm.
Interlock and Hideout too.
Make that happen.
So do you think that can work? County newsletter?
Yeah, just shoot it over to me and I can forward it to our PRO.
There you go. So you know, the city newsletter comes out at the end of the month. When does yours come out?
I can't remember.
Instead of the form, do you want us to send up like a description?
Yeah, we
Okay.
just want
I
to,
think we
and
can
then
come
we
up with
want to
something.
start advertising it like twice a
Yeah,
year.
more than
in the
likely
city
for us,
newsletters.
give us the information, I'll send it to our PO, and she'll figure out how she wants to
Okay,
advertise it, or whether it be
Nice.
in one of our newsletters, or whether it be through our website or whatever.
Yeah,
I tend to let
videos would
her
be great
the
too.
Subject matter expert on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, if we could get some videos posted of just walking through the process, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really great thing, and then we could put those in the newsletters too, and they could be on Facebook and other places like that.
Okay.
It's going
Yep,
to take a
share,
little-
share, share.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
right, little learning curve for people
Awesome.
to say, oh, I've heard that before. There's an animal adoption place. Oh, you know, I
Yeah.
need to check that out.
Yeah.
And, you know, things like,
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
okay. Thank you for doing more work on that one. That'd be great.
Yeah, no kidding, Holly. Thank you. But it'll be less work in the end.
Yeah,
Yes.
And,
let's,
maybe this will all really deter people dumping their animals. Wouldn't that be nice?
yeah, that would be, that really would be. But, then you need a slogan for that, you know, don't
yeah.
dump, you know, love or something.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Don't love to know.
something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those words are last.
Catchy
But
slogan. All right.
Why don't, I think it's time for us to approve this new owner surrender policy.
Okay.
So I'm happy to have anybody make a motion on that.
I'll make a motion that we approve the new operating procedures for animal surrenders.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Heber. All right, any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, please.
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Aye.
That passes 4-0. Excellent. Okay, let's keep going. You've got a new violation and fee schedule for us to review. Is that right, Chief?
Yes.
Excellent.
No, we don't have a new one. We're just
Well, there
curious
was
if
some
anybody else has
questions.
passed the updated one.
Oh,
So we have not. I'll try to get it done this, before we meet again. But I'll be honest, I think for my recommendations, I'll provide this, but I think I'm going to have our ordinance just simply refer to your ordinance on the fee schedule.
oh,
Okay.
that
Because
makes
you're
sense.
collecting it, you're keeping it. And just say whatever you do, it's,
That's probably a smart thing for other entities too,
Yeah, could
Chief.
be.
so.
And then actually, then if we change it, we only have to change it in one place.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I had just a couple of questions on these because I didn't recall the information being there before, like the unshore, just the unshore categories,
Yeah,
bringing
that one
vicious
was
animals
updated.
into the county. I do think that would be a useful thing in the rare occasions that you're seeing that happen. I know it would have to be proven, but especially if it's a danger, right? It's a known danger, or the person transporting it in. I just think you should cover that base.
Mhm.
But, what do you
Yeah,
think?
I think there's enough areas that could also be covered though, like it's $555 fine for a vicious animal.
So
So
just give them
I
that.
think it's kind of, yeah, I think it's already covered there. There's also aggressive dog at large.
Yeah,
There's
and I
a
like
few that
cleaning
I
this
think,
up. Cleaning it up is very
I think
important.
it could still be covered under those. And then also per the ordinance, even if we don't have a fine there, it's a Class C misdemeanor. So we can still cite for that as a misdemeanor offense because there's that language in the municipal code, as most cities and counties have, is that if there's not anything associated with it, it's a Class C misdemeanor. So
Okay.
I think we can still enforce it without a fine there. And
Okay.
honestly, it's probably a good one to be a Class C misdemeanor anyways.
Can I ask about the other categories below, please? Because I didn't catch them the last time we discussed this, and I was wondering what they meant. And so just a little further down, Holly, please. We've got the guard dog notices, the pet daycare, and the horse stable regulations. I don't recall us discussing those before. I didn't know why they were there in the first place, or if they're needed, because you've got the inshore.
Yeah, I just don't think they're needed. We've never seen them.
Okay, so nobody needs to post if they have a guard dog on duty, right? Usually they put up their own beware of dog
There
signs.
is a section in the code on that.
Yeah, and like I said, there is a section, but I don't think it's anything we've ever enforced before.
No.
Usually everybody, it's usually when people do that, they're usually put a dog, a vicious dog, because they want people to know not to come in our property.
Mhm.
So even if they don't have a dog, they'll put those signs up.
Oh, yeah.
So and like I said, even then we could cite it, if it ever did occur, we could cite it as a misdemeanor offense anyways.
Mhm.
And then the fine would be associated with the
Okay,
prosecutor could do the fines. So
okay, so there is other protection there.
there's still protection on anything that's not
And the
specifically mentioned.
pet daycare would be a business license issue,
It would be.
right? And so with the horse stable regulations?
I can't remember that one, what we did with that, but,
I mean,
It's
does
not
that mean
something-
they're violating animal cruelty laws in their horse stable?
I don't
I
know.
have to look it up.
That was put in when Midway done there. Midway's got a whole section on.
I think it was, that might have been it, that it was
Midway,
more,
yeah.
Midway had a section on it.
On
That's why I'm
livestock
not familiar
animals
with
and
it. Yeah.
horses and how to feed
That might have
them.
been it.
and-
Okay, well,
Just,
that,
it's been a hot minute.
yeah, yeah.
My early onset dementia kicks in.
And as the city's expanding, a lot of these livestock owners are selling their livestock with the property when they sell it, so we're not having that much livestock in the city limits itself.
Do we say that exotic animals are anything that are not domesticated?
There's a specific definition for it in there. I couldn't cite
Okay.
it offhand.
Yeah, I
So it's
couldn't
not a
either, like your
dog, cat,
peacocks.
gerbil. Even a peacock is an exotic animal?
Mhm,
Really?
mhm.
But a peacock's gonna go where they go and yell when they yell, so why would we fine them? You see what I mean? If they are somehow driving the neighborhood crazy?
Yeah, we're gonna go out to a complaint, otherwise we don't get a complaint.
Yeah.
Unless it's a dangerous exotic animal. we'll
Yeah,
find
like an
out about it.
alligator,
Yeah.
or tiger, or
Oh,
elephant.
I mean, we have the Seuss's, so I'm just saying.
I can't imagine what you guys see,
the Seuss's.
What's that?
Doug
Oh.
Seuss.
The
but I
Bart
can't
the Bear.
imagine on a daily basis what you guys see out there.
Whoa.
Bart the
Oh,
Bear.
those, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's got wolves, his main
That's right.
animal right now. are
That's
wolves.
right. That
Yeah, I
they,
think one of
they
those
play with the
options.
kids, yes, I remember that.
Mhm.
I bought one of
Okay.
his shirts though, so I'm a fan.
Yeah, back in the day, he used to walk Bart up and down Main Street back in the
That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
70s and 80s and the wolves.
That's before I came
I
around.
remember seeing the wolves.
Okay, and then, and we'll reach out
Running
to,
with wolves.
Midway Airlock and Hideout's not here, so we'll reach out to them and just remind them to get it done. And we'll also mention
Yes.
Heber's idea. I think that's a good idea.
That's right, reach out. That's right, let's reach out to each entity and Heber, when you get your draft of your ordinance, if you can send it to the chief so
Do you
that
want
he
So
can
that
take
language
it
might be
out.
useful.
Do you want us to reach out to him?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be fine.
Okay.
But tell them we'll get a draft from Heber
Okay.
with that language, and that makes a lot of sense to me. That
Yep, one place.
Yep.
I like that.
I'm trying to find out where our ordinance has the existing fees.
Do you have a fee schedule like we do? Is there any further discussion on then the
no, I don't think
these violations
it was
and code
just- That was
updates?
just an update.
Excellent, okay. Keep going.
Cost of medical. So Pause is on here too. So we had the dog. I got a picture. I don't think actually she probably does have it because she sent it to me an email. This was the dog. It's a black German Shepherd. But Justin contacted me on like a Saturday, and this dog was like bleeding out of its rectum. So they contacted Paws for possible to get it corrected, surgery. Paws didn't have the funds for it. So I told, but they said they were super awesome. They said that, hey, we'll pick up a portion of it, you know, if it's doable and stuff. So I had Justin reach out to the vet. The vet came back with a price of $10,000.
Oh, crap.
And so what's that?
Not good. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so I contacted Paws, and we also talked to Justin. I said, I'm not going to pay $10,000 to correct this dog. We just need to euthanize it then, because that will just, if we do that, that'll just destroy our budgets.
Yeah.
And so everybody was in agreement, and they called up the vet. The vet came out and said, okay, hey, you know what? The dog's not in too much distress right now. Let's just give it another day, which is totally awesome. And then the dog started clearing itself out. So it worked out.
This dog got adopted. Like, yep.
So it worked out in favor of the dog. So we're super glad we didn't have to euthanize the dog. But it did make me think a little bit that I think in the next budget, I just give a heads up. I'm probably going to put a line item in there for surgeries, and we certainly hope we can continue working with Paws so that they can help us with it as well, and we can work together. But then we have an item, and you know, if we don't use it, that's great, and it'll be obviously a savings for everybody. But I think we know that these dogs and these animals are incoming injured, and we have to have some mechanism to take care of them. Besides possibly going over.
Yeah.
So just a heads up on that. So
there's no insurance policy that we could pay that would probably be equivalent to the 10,000, but at least it would cover more animals throughout the entire year.
I've never heard of that.
Isn't there kind of a vet surgery insurance around?
For owners.
For owners.
Yeah.
For shelter, absolutely.
And I don't even know if that, even private, I have never heard.
There's no winning that one. I think they would just lose money.
So you don't even want to check with the Utah
I don't mind
Government
checking.
Trust.
Yeah, I don't mind checking at all.
I'm sure we're not the only ones that have asked.
Yeah.
Right. But
Couldn't hurt.
yeah, it just makes me wonder, you know, if there were something out there. I don't know.
I've never seen it. Could be, but I've never seen it.
I'm sure it'd be worse than all the other insurance that we pay.
I'll check into it a little bit and see if I can find anything.
Well, that's kind of you, Chief. I appreciate it. I'm not sure what we'll find, but it made me wonder. Or we just set up a certain endowment and we try to do some private fundraising, you know, and see if we could get a good $100,000 there that we could earn interest off of in a restricted account for things like that.
Yeah, and it's the lousy part about it, and I'm just being honest because I had to do it in my last agency as well, is you just have to make a judgment call. And so sometimes people get upset. And so, you know, but you just have to weigh, honestly, the age of the dog, the adoptability of the dog, and the cost of the procedure. And you try to balance those things out. It's not a perfect formula because it ultimately comes down to a judgment call. And that's why they call me. So it's not fun, but I think it just has to be done. So on sometimes we just have to euthanize them.
Yeah, never an easy decision, but
I thought I did see. What was that other issue that you brought up? Or was that it?
That was it.
That was that dog.
Insurance.
I wanted to go over. Let me see if it's not there. Oh, just the budget real quick.
Just click, yeah.
Just I have a spreadsheet here for everybody, but you guys, for those that are online, I should have, next time I'll send it to Holly so she can put it on here. But so far for this year, this is from 7/1 to 10/14. We should have expended 33.33% of the budget, and we've currently expended 26.3%. So we're under budget for the year by a little bit, which is great. And so hopefully we'll just continue carrying that for the rest of the year as well. So
That's for your full police department, right? So we take a look at just
No,
animal
no.
care,
We're just
it's
looking at the-
24%.
Yeah.
Yeah, animal services 24.
Oh, 24, sorry, I looked at the wrong one.
24.49.
Yes, you're right. So we're 24, so a little bit better than that. I'm sorry, I looked at the entire thing. My bad. Usually she gives me just the one. So yes, 24.49%.
Chief, what I
So-
would like to do, if the numbers can stay this good, I would really like to be able to get some kind of better air circulation system at the animal shelter in the short term, even though we want to build the new facility within, I hope, a couple of years or so, 3 years. And
I really do love that idea, I'll be honest with you.
yeah, I can see it's such a need there now. And I'm sorry I didn't realize that before, but the air circulation is really needful down there. So I'm just
Oh,
suggesting,
same with pause.
yeah, we could just find a way to see if we can,
Justin, can
Do
you
something in
contact
the
like
short
a
term.
HVAC and have them come out and give us a price for something that would
Yep.
evacuate that air quicker?
that
Yep,
would
That
be
is a great
great.
idea.
Yep.
That's one of the things I hate most about visiting, sorry, the shelters is the smell, especially the cat area.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I try to meet
Well,
every
gonna
once
so
in a
we
while.
were getting
Definitely.
complaints too.
What's that?
We're getting complaints. We're getting complaints too at pause. That, you know, we're attached to the Christian Center, and it's just. I was over there today, just trying to get the stank out from the cats. It's not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, man.
So you're cleaning with a detergent based. Are you also using a, or
Deodorant?
not a deodorant,
Degreaser.
we've got the
Like an
detergent,
oxy.
Disinfectant.
disinfectant,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
2 separate steps.
Mhm.
But it's just the odor from the animals themselves as well. It's,
Mhm.
when you get
Yeah.
that many animals in one place, it just starts smelling like animals.
Yeah.
Like a circus tent, but 1,000 times worse.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. Especially when they
Thank
paint their
you. I would
kennels
love
with
to
it.
see.
Does anybody have any
10,000
questions
or
on the budget or
20,000 could
anything?
Make a difference on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just there's, let's see, the only one that's slightly over for the year so far is just barely uniform allowance is a little bit high, but that's typical because we get the uniforms initially up front.
Yeah, and it's a low
And so that's
cost
fine,
too.
yeah. But everything else is under.
Are you billing us? Are you getting payments from us?
I'm not sure, we'll have to check with our finance department, they're the ones that do the billing for us. on
Yeah.
that.
If you have any problem,
Come
let
the
me
first of the
Will
year,
do, yeah,
let's see who's kept up with their payments and that, please, chief.
yep, I will. I know she has all the population figures from last time and stuff that we did.
Great.
I'll pause for life as she.
Oh, one more thing.
Yeah.
The adopted dogs return for biting,
Oh.
rescue only or behavioral euthanasia.
Oh,
Do
yeah,
you wanna
sorry about
discuss
that, I wrote something underneath this, so I thought I did it.
Okay.
So Justin, you wanna talk about that?
We'll let Holly talk about that one.
Okay, you want me to talk about Hank? Okay.
Hank, Hank is out of there.
Yes, he's out of there.
Yep.
So Hank is a black lab. He actually came in with the German Shepherd that was having issues. He showed no signs of aggression or any kind of issues in the shelter. He was adopted. We thought he had kind of hit the jackpot. The night that they took him home, he was trying to shred his bed. The male adopter said that he was trying to stop him. He wasn't responding, so he put his hand on his head and the dog turned and bit him. And continued to lunge and snap at him.
Wow.
Yeah, so he,
Please.
they said they had an issue with the female adopter the next morning when she put her husband's jacket on. The dog was biting at the jacket, so they actually brought him back. I did take him back into our care at that point just because they did not feel safe with him in their home. The bite did not break skin, so we didn't. Yeah, it wasn't. It just grabbed his arm and he had
It's
some
not a
bruising
bite.
marks. Yeah, so not a severe bite, but they were definitely rattled by it. So our question was, because we hadn't seen that behavior in the shelter environment, it happened in a home environment, we didn't feel safe adopting him back out to the public without having some kind of maybe help from a trainer or something. So we reached out to Paws to see if they could pull him into their program to get him more help and get him neutered. That would, I think that might be a big part of it.
Okay.
But yeah, and I guess from what I've heard, he's been doing great with his foster, who is male.
He's fantastic. He did get he did get training just because of this incident. No, and they poked and prodded, and a great trainer, and did everything you could possibly do to get a reaction. Nothing. She, gently shoved the dog too, which is all part of the training. She's a trainer, and they no reaction whatsoever. The dog was fantastic, and is now in a foster home with another lab. They're doing great, and yep, we got a meet and greet. So.
Yeah.
So it was a question of in the future if a dog does break skin type thing?
Yeah. Like, when do we decide whether it's okay, we can pass this off to rescue and see if they can help the dog to get it adopted, or?
So I guess and Pause, you're on, so please correct me if I'm thinking appropriately or something. My thought is you, if we get it back and we know it's broken skin, we don't want to adopt it out and take on. I think even with them signing a waiver, I think there's some liability. We have to tell them that, hey, it's bit. And once we tell them that, they're not going to adopt it from us. So then I think we reach out to you guys, and if you guys think if you don't want to take that on, then we have no choice but to euthanize it. If you are willing to take on and try to train it and stuff, and it works out, great. And if it doesn't, you could always return it to us, and we would have to euthanize it. Does that make sense?
I agree with that. Yeah, and I 100% agree with that. In this case, because he didn't really break skin, and we had somebody that works for us for Paws that met the dog many times, and would take him out, and behavior was great, and we got him trained, and yes. But if a dog, and I don't see it, and that trainer did a great job. But I think in the future, yes, I agree with you. If we do take that on and there is a bite incident, yes, we can't save the dog. We don't want, obviously, a dog hurting anybody. So yes, I would agree with that.
I have a question on that. If we get a dog that's broke skin and a rescue agrees to take it and they place that dog and it does it again, can they come back on the city because we knew that dog had bit in the past? Could we be liable in a lawsuit?
I don't. If we were up front,
I don't think so, because it's a Paws for life dog, right?
Our requirement is to be transparent in the process.
Yeah.
So if we have record that he bit the dog and then we don't communicate that to the decision makers in the future,
that's part
yes, we're liable.
Yeah.
But if we are aware of that information and we forward it and they are aware of it, then
we're not. Okay.
Especially on the rescue, because again, that's what rescuers a lot of times what they do. Is
I just want to make sure that the city's not, or the county's not going to be held liable.
There's always the possibility of somebody suing for any reason.
Yeah.
So.
But then we'd have
anybody can sue anyone for anything.
We told everybody.
I think the standard, not the standard, I think there's enough of a precedent nationwide that outlines there is an inherent risk when it comes to adopting. And we don't know everything. As long as we are being transparent with the information we have, I think we would be fine.
Okay. Yeah, that was just my question.
So question, when transferring an animal such as this to a rescue, do you think that information should be like written and given, or like verbally transparent?
So I don't know what.
Funny, I was just thinking the same thing, Holly.
Yeah, I don't know what system that you have of keeping notes, but when we would transfer an animal, we would transfer the animal, and then we had a report that was printed out with the animal that had all the information, the weight, the dates, the ages, the impoundment dates, all the notes from the clinic, all the notes from staff.
Okay.
And it just went with them. And so the safety is making sure that you put it in a system.
Yeah.
And then when you rescue out an animal, it's like, here's the paperwork with that animal.
And we're doing that right now, aren't we?
When we have
I'm confirming that.
But yeah, I don't typically do that unless I know the dog's had some issues.
Okay.
So we'll start just making that part of policy.
And that's also nice for the rescuers
It
because
is.
they have all the information. Yep, this one has received a vaccination.
Mhm.
Here's the known information, so they can say, oh, we don't have to do a rabies vaccination.
Yeah,
or
I think we
we
should
don't
do
have
it
to
on
do that.
everyone, even if there's not
Mhm.
issues, because then we can just say it's policy, we do it every single time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep,
Well,
I can do that.
that's gonna increase their workload, right?
Yeah.
And then that means, you know.
But it's
you-
in there, so it's
Does
just
your
printing it out.
system,
Yeah.
does your
Okay.
system have a summary report?
So
Yeah.
it does. I don't know if it prints the notes because that's where we usually put it, is like in the hidden comments. That's where we keep the
Okay.
notes. I'll have to go through and check and see if that prints out on the report because
There-
there's one for adopters and then one for non-adopters.
Yeah.
That I think has more
Yeah.
information on it.
Yeah, you may have something for adopters. What's the system that you're using?
Animal shelter manager.
I wouldn't be surprised if they have a staff report
I'm
summary
sure-
or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure they've got something. I'll fiddle with it and see what I can.
Yeah, we can always reach out.
Because
to
then
them,
it's just a
too.
matter of
Mhm.
printing off one more piece of
Yeah.
paper,
Oh,
not
yeah.
necessarily writing anything down.
Yeah, we put everything. If anything happens, if there's an incident in the shelter, if there's a medical thing that we witness, everything goes in goes in his notes. So, yep. Okay, cool.
Okay, we are really giving you a lot to take care of in this meeting. Thank you, thank you,
That's what the
thank
meeting's
you.
for, to keep Holly busy.
Wow, well.
I need more things to do.
We have a steak dinner.
Wow, okay, thank you,
take it.
Chief. Is there anything else you wanted to do for your
No.
part?
Do we want to go over Brandon was mentioning the decals.
Oh, the decals, yes, thank you.
She wanted to bring the decals.
So we just, the new trucks are here for the animal
Oh,
control that were approved.
nice.
So we're looking at
Where
them.
did
We're getting ready to do graphics. We just want to know if anybody thought there needed some change in them, or we just stick with what we currently have. I personally think what we have looks nice. It's pretty generic. He's gonna pull it up, but it's basically it's an overview of like Mount Timpanogos, and it says Heber Valley Animal Services. I think we were talking about adding
Nice.
Participating
jurisdictions at the bottom. So under established 1978, we were gonna add Wasatch County, Heber City, Midway, Interlochen, and Hideout across the bottom.
Mhm.
Just so you know
Nice.
the areas that they're servicing.
Just pull it up. Uncle.
If you do that for Wasatch
I know,
County,
I know,
I would
it's a
put
lot
in
to keep track of.
unincorporated
Yes.
Wasatch County.
Where did it go?
I think it's
That could be
a
a
good
little
word,
long.
isn't it?
It would be, but if you
Right,
just
right.
do
Okay,
Wasatch
there you
County,
go.
you may get
Oh,
people
I see what you're
who
saying.
sit there and say, but I'm a resident of Wasatch County.
Well, I'm in Heber Valley, right?
Well, I mean, we could even put it up above right here, some, and then some down there.
Yeah, we can figure it out.
But I agree, I think it needs to say unincorporated Wasatch County.
Yeah, I'm sure they can do it. I just thought the print might get small.
Yeah.
But
But also, if you put it on the trucks, then that does mean any changes that happen could cause of another.
yeah, it's easy to add a sticker on though. If we're adding, yeah.
Mhm.
Even taking away, it's not too hard to take it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, make them separate stickers.
And then lots of times, every couple of years, we have to switch them around sometimes anyways, because they'll get banged up, so.
I don't know what the artistic thing is going on here with the spots and stripy things in the orange and the gray. But I think if you took the black dots away from the services above it, the RVI area, made that more orange across there, I think that would look good.
Yeah, that's supposed to be Deer Creek.
Oh, it's supposed
I
to be the
never would've guessed
water?
that.
Mhm.
Hey, another
Oh.
thought is, why don't we remove that, like the mayor said, and put the cities there? Right underneath Heber Valley Animal Services, the cities, make that a different color, either gray, solid gray or something, then put the name of the cities there and then establish 1978.
Or do we want 1978, or would we want to put the new date where everybody's, just a thought.
No, let's keep the 1978, because you guys are legitimate, you've been here a long time doing it.
Okay.
But yeah, I just like the orange all the way across on the orange and not have the
The gray and
the
black.
dots. I
Okay.
don't know what those dots are.
And yeah, I mean, we could also, just a thought, we could put the cities here and
Yeah.
put unincorporated Wasatch County here.
Yeah, scoot the 1978 to one end, either way, then you'd have plenty of room
Yeah,
for your
or-
unincorporated part.
Because yeah, it'd be easy to put the 1978 almost anywhere. Okay, we'll play around with that. Is everybody okay with us?
Yeah.
Just making a decision on that?
You might want to make the orange a bit wider, but taller, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's just, it just stands out a little bit more.
Yeah, and maybe just solid orange without those spots.
I don't like the spots.
Yeah, because it kind
Unless
of
you're,
blends in with the
you know, you're
services there.
saying
Yeah,
leopards
we'll
and
clean it up a
chihuahuas.
little. I think we'll just clean it up a little bit.
Okay.
And if everybody's okay with that, and we're gonna add the cities in, and then we'll talk to the designers at the place and make sure it looks pretty nice. Send it out to you.
I'll go talk with, Sandra on Monday.
Yeah, I like those suggestions. Thank you.
Of course, of course. Does anybody want to vote on that, Sheriff? Do you have any other comments or questions?
No, I don't think so.
All righty. So we have a Pause for Life Utah update. Heidi, if there's anything you'd like to tell us about.
I think, well, Carrie is no longer there, right?
Yeah.
That's very surprising.
Tell you guys. Yeah, she had said, she just has her hands full with her dad after losing her mom. Her dad is now not doing well.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, she's got a lot going on there. So, yeah, but Amy is doing great. Amy and her daughter, Zoe, have been working for us for a long time, and they've really been doing a lot of great things for us. So the only thing they really are not sure about is just little stuff like, ordering some more meds and things. And Carrie's nice enough that she's going to help and train them. So,
okay.
Besides that, no, not too much at the moment.
Well, we really appreciate all your hard work and how responsive you are to us and collaborative you are. Your organization is really phenomenal. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Thank you. I thank Kathy Baruch every single day for starting this amazing foundation.
That's great. That's great.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Yes, and you're always welcome here, Heidi. It's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. I do have a question about the animal shelter, like what you guys are going to do. And, I know you're building a new shelter there. And what is the timeline on that? I heard somebody say 2 years.
That's actually our next discussion item. So we're going to go right there, please. We have Heber Lefgren. He's our county representative, and he has taken the lead on the facility expansion and the pre-planning, I'll just say, preliminary planning, right, for the real plan. And he's come up with some great ideas. We don't have a real timeline yet. But once this election's over with, my timeline is to proceed with getting a planning budget for the next fiscal year, okay, to where we could actually get it designed. And then hopefully come back in 2028 and be able to assess out the costs, right? And we'd have to hire a general manager, a GMCG, right?
I also vote for Heber for that.
But during all that time up till it's finished, Heidi, we want definitely your input. We want to be able to work with you if you feel like there's fundraising or perhaps areas that you would like to help design or, manage and such. I mean, Heber, why don't you go ahead and explain to Heidi now the various areas that we're going to add and just the kind of the general overall summary, please.
Yeah. So we did a rudimentary, basic needs assessment of the existing facility, and we've identified that we likely need to double the square footage of what we currently have in order to be able to provide. And that includes more office space, that includes more kennel space, more cat-specific space. It included a separate intake area as well as a basic clinic services area. But again, that needs assessment identified. We didn't design anything, but we did identify that the total square footage is probably going to need to double from what we have.
What do you have now?
Oh,
what is the square foot now?
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's about that. But we also wanted the adoption place.
Yeah, and so
Option
there's,
center.
yeah, and so we talked about as part of that needs assessment is a larger adoption area.
They get a surgery center.
Yeah, and so there's a lot there, and I think as we move forward, we know what the needs are. There are multiple, as we go into the design phase, the actual design where we hire somebody to design something, I think that there's a couple of options available for how we could do it. We can just design a bigger building off of what we currently have. We can put two separate buildings on location where one is more of an adoption, and then the other one is more of a behind the scenes intake. I think there's just a lot of different options that are available, and that could include a partnership with Pause for Life, where we work out
Love it.
some form of agreement that as we build it. And so I think that there's a lot of options as we get into that design phase. And I think that that's really where we are now. We kind of have a general understanding of what we're going to need. We have a very high level expectation of how much it's going to cost. I think it was about $3.5 million is what we identified. And so really where we're at now is we need to coordinate a budget for at least the design aspect of it. And I believe that that's going to be about 7% of the 3.5. Let me check real quick.
You said 6.5, I think. in the-
Yeah, 6.5.
And a quarantine room would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we identified, the need to be able to have a place for both bike quarantine and then also a sick quarantine. And those are two separate locations.
As well as safety for our staff, just like we have safety in this building for staff, which is phenomenal, how Chief Booth designed that. We want safety for our workers in these particular areas too.
And so using what we did with our admin building, the design is coming out to be about 6.5% of the total cost.
Okay, that's good.
And so using that as the basis of what would the design be, we're looking at about roughly 230.
Okay.
Yeah, $230,000.
Okay.
For the design element. Obviously, Heber City will need to go out to bid for that to get the best price. But really that's where we're at now is budgeting the design so that we can design it, and then also working with partners to identify how do we fund the future construction cost.
Right.
Chief, you mentioned previously that you thought that there was something in the code that allowed us to be able to do some form of a property tax for animal care services.
Yes,
There is.
it's very minimal.
It's minimal, as well as if we were to do that, in order for that to be successful, we really would then have to transfer the operations of the shelter from the city to the county.
Oh, is that right? So that's not
Because
what
in
we're
order
wanting.
for the county to do something like that,
They have to,
we
This be
have
their
to
operation.
be we have to be the one that operates that.
And I'm assuming that.
You have to be the one
operation
what?
That operates it.
Yeah, instead of the city operating it,
Yeah.
the way it is right now, it'd have to be the county that would operate it if it were taxed against property taxes, right?
yes,
Mhm,
they can.
mhm.
Okay, but go
But
ahead.
we could still function like we do as far as with the board and everything.
Oh, you
Correct, the
mean,
board doesn't change.
Yep.
you mean, we could say it's under the county and then have the county assign
They would just become
information?
me, the operating agency.
So basically,
we would still have our
transfer it
votes.
over, so that would mean that Justin's staff would report to county staff. So the organization would transfer. The advisory board remains the same. The only difference is now,
Well,
The county would be
just
giving budget
County-
updates and
the-
stuff like that.
yeah,
I
And
just
doing
know
the
that
day-to-day operations.
it, obviously this is a couple of years away. We don't have to worry about it today, but I'm just concerned that, workers may want to stay under the Heber City benefits, pay schedule,
Correct.
retirement, et cetera. So it kind of gets a little messy. Whereas if we went the property tax route, right, and then went under the county authority, if the county would assign or make the contract back to Heber City so that it stays this way, even though it's under the
Yeah.
county's rubric, and authority for the property tax increase. I'm also concerned that we make sure we get an impact fee for the future capacity of that building, and that's another sticky wicket on who would assess the impact fee or how much it would be and how that would all play out. You see what I mean?
So the use of the impact fees, again, there's ways that we can go around and utilize impact fees. There are things that you can do with impact fees and things that you cannot do.
Mhm.
So for example, we could assess an impact fee for a portion of this construction as long as and we can associate the part of the project that is associated with the future
Future
growth.
growth.
Right.
Yep.
We cannot sit there and say, hey, we're now gonna have a quarantine location that we didn't have before.
So that wouldn't.
And so we wouldn't be able to fund everything, but I think we could associate a portion of the cost to an impact fee.
Right.
The other thing is whichever entity is charging the impact fee, those impact fees have to be used on a facility that is owned by that entity.
Yeah, that's where it gets.
So-
yeah.
I think that there's ways, I was working with our attorney about, again, this is down the road when we start looking at that. There's strategies we can figure something out, such as we purchase the property and then do 100-year lease back to Heber City. So it's technically our building, but you're operating it. And so there's some workarounds. That
More
you
than
can
one way to
create.
skin a cat. What?
I-
Sorry.
So I don't think that's necessary.
So true.
Yeah, I'm just saying, these are the things.
But there
we need to
are,
plan
as we look
for.
at that funding, there might be some potential options. In the end, I think that the cleanest would be some form of a revenue bond that Heber City does to
True.
fund it.
Could be revenue,
At
yeah.
which point the entities pay for the portion
Mhm.
of that annual revenue of that bond. I think if we want the cleanest route, that is the cleanest route, that Heber City builds it, Heber City pays for it through a revenue bond.
Yeah.
And then charges a percentage of that to the participating entity.
And that's what we thought of initially, right?
Yeah.
This is the way it would be.
So there's a lot of creative ways. That's probably the simplest and easiest and straightforward. And then each of the cities will have to identify how do they pay the portion of their revenue bond. Whether that they have to independently
impact
on their
fees.
own identify.
Yeah, and impact fees too.
Yeah, I don't know if they'd be able, if Heber City is building it and building it with a revenue bond, I don't think that the participants can do impact fee to pay for the rent
Oh,
of that.
okay,
So
okay.
it does get a little sticky
Mhm.
as for how the entities will pay for that
Well,
portion.
we're gonna rely on your expertise and we'll bring in our city attorney and we will figure out some different funding scenarios so that we can take it to our entities and say, okay, you can do option A or option B or C maybe, and how should we do this? And that,
Sounds good.
once we get the design and the, approximate budget, it's probably going to be more than we think it is, then that's going to be probably another year discussion, if not longer, just to get the funding. I'm not gonna be surprised. And then I'll only need.
Do you guys have any idea who could build this? Has
No.
anybody looked into that yet?
No,
There's enough agencies that build these.
Yeah.
but
What's
I
that?
do think it's,
Well, there's a lot of agencies that build shelters, so there's definitely firms available if we go out to bid that will bid on it.
anyway, why can't we do a dog park too while you're out there? You know what I mean? You have the kennels for the larger livestock and that,
Mhm.
but why not have a dog park play area outside? That
Love
would
it.
be good for the adoption
Yeah.
process, I think.
I do think that when we priced it out, I did include a portion of the funds to redesign the exterior,
Mhm.
because the current dog runs that you have outside are not, they were goodwill,
Mhm.
good people, they are good, but from an animal shelter perspective, there's a lot of concerns that I have about the
Disease.
potential of spread of disease on
Mhm.
how they are built. That is not standard
Mhm.
for shelters. And so it would need a overhaul of the outside. And yes, you're right. I think if we are enhancing the adoption center, then you would need adequate space for rescuers to bring their pets on adoption events, as well as a good play area to get all the energy out of the dogs that have been spending their time in the kennels,
Mhm.
for a good play program.
Mhm.
And they could do training out there too, right? For the
Oh, yeah.
I was
dogs.
just gonna say that. Yep. Love it.
We're thinking alike here. It's not
Right,
just the
Holly?
men-
We're preaching to the choir here now.
But
Right.
I think that as we are looking for the design, I think that there is some advantage of, if Pause for Life is serious about participating in this, that we start having those conversations early. So when we're doing the
Absolutely.
design, potentially
Absolutely.
you help with those costs, knowing that
Mhm.
you would take advantage of that facility.
Well, it would be really cool
Yes.
too. Think about this, to have some kind of community room out there where the dog training could happen,
Mhm.
or just other types of training, on family needs, neighborhood needs, you know what I mean? Groups coming in,
Yeah.
just have a fun place for them to learn more about animal care and
Yeah.
training. I think that would be pretty cool.
It'd be nice to have a
And
place.
especially how those towns are
Purchase.
growing like crazy, right? This will be great.
Mhm.
Anyway, why not make it shine? It shouldn't be that much more. And I can see how it could be a real benefit to the community over time.
Absolutely.
Hey, Mayor.
Yes, Sheriff.
Hey, I was just gonna see what the group thought about coming up with some kind of a proposed timeline. Maybe our board could recommend to all the different entities a timeline that we're on, even though it's, say, 2 years away. Something along those lines.
Okay, I think that's a good idea to keep people on track, right?
Yeah.
For goals, right? The goals that we would like to meet on the new facility. Heber, do you want to feel like you could perhaps take on that assignment?
So I think when we take a look at the goals, I think it needs to be, because Heber City is the one who's going to be doing the budget, and that's really the next step, is getting the money. Now, I will tell you that without doing the numbers, if you raise the budget, if we agree to raise the budget to where in next year's budget, we have the funds to pay for the design.
Get out of bid,
get out the
pick
bid.
bids.
If all of the entities agree that, even though that's a one-time expense, if all the entities agree to use reoccurring funds, there's a possibility that $250,000 may be adequate to pay for the annual revenue lease.
Oh, on a
And
continuing
so-
basis.
So I raise 100,000, so the county, we raise our budget $120,000 to pay for the design in next year's budget, and then we proceed with building it. I know that I now have 125 already in my budget in the base to pay for the revenue or the bond, to pay my portion of the bond.
Okay.
That then the second year cost may not be as drastic.
Right, but I can't imagine a 20-year, I don't even know why you'd need a 20-year bond. You know what I'm saying, to build something this inexpensive.
I think the only reason for why it would be beneficial to have a 20-year bond is to reduce the annual cost.
Yes, but
The
the
impact.
interest will be almost as much as the principal by that point. Just thinking.
You're
out
correct.
loud. And so why not do a 10-year bond instead? And I'm hopeful it would be, within this same range you're talking about, Heber. I think that's a great idea. So they know what they're getting into, right? There's no surprises. It'll probably be 4 million by the time we're done with this. Maybe 4.5 million. It's really terrible how construction prices have gone nuts on the building projects in our city and counties. So I'm just saying, why can't we figure that out with bond counsel, chief, and try to get, let's go to a 4.5 million just to be on the safe side. I hope that's safe. Maybe you should go with 5 million just to be on the safe side.
Okay, yeah, I can look into that. I might call you for some help, Heber. That's one area I haven't encountered too much in my career. I was in the same building since 1976.
Yeah. So if we talk about a bond, if we're talking about a $5 million bond, the annual payment would be,
Let's see.
yeah, I can figure that out.
Well, I would hope it'd be 250 or less. I don't know. It depends on interest rates, right? Revenue bonds have a higher interest rate, don't they?
Slightly they have a slightly higher interest rate from a geo bond.
Okay.
We could go, and again, the city could choose to go through a geo bond, which does have a lower interest rate. However, that's always tricky because you may find yourself in the same boat as a school district where they go out to the public to say, we have this expense.
Oh, yeah. I see.
And the public says, no, you don't need to do that. And then we go and proceed anyway with a revenue
And
bond.
people get mad.
Yeah.
And so,
Why'd you ask me?
yeah. And so that's
Who
where,
wouldn't want this?
again, if each of the entities if we start talking and saying, in next year's budget, we are going to go ahead and do the design portion of that. I think if we talk to them and say, make sure that you put it in as reoccurring,
Right,
it will,
right. That'll go a long ways towards making
Yeah,
this palatable.
point is-
Well, we hope that those numbers are going to work, Heber. That'd be great.
which, again, I think from an entity, every year you go through the budget process, you seek for approval of the budget. But regardless of whether or not this board gets it, if your budget is, let's see.
4,029. 400,029 this year. So we could go up to 700,000
Oh,
a
never
year
mind. That doesn't work.
after the design and then the debt payment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the other option, if we look at it and say the price of the one-time design is actually more than the reoccurring bond.
Right.
We may just decide next year, let's go ahead and plan on going out for a bond and include the design in the bond. Because remember that 3.5 that I quoted included the design portion. And so if we raise it to 5 million, then clearly, then the idea would be that includes the design. So we could just decide, if Heber City wants in the next year's budget, say, we're gonna include us going out, getting a bond for the redesign, and we anticipate that the bond is gonna be X, which means your payment based upon your rate will be A, B, and C. And then if that's less than what it would be to pay our portion of the design, you might as well just do a purchase and just do a design and build all at once.
Yeah.
Ah, that's interesting. Okay.
Because the payment's lower than that initial.
The separation.
Hey, Heber.
Yeah.
Maybe you and I could speak another day, but I wonder what we can do since our budget cycle is different than the cities.
Mhm.
I wonder what we could do about to the 2026 budget. I'd be happy to try to include some of those costs in our office budget, or if the manager's office wants to, but maybe there's something we can do now to start to plan for that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
So yeah, you're right. I think we have the ability that if we can put some money aside in this year's budget, we can. Um, but also if we wait till next year, it'll still be, yeah, I think you're right, Sheriff. Um,
And this is just kind of
cause I'm
spitballing
in the
it,
middle
but
of doing the budget right now, and I will tell you, we are pretty tight with all the requests that are coming
yeah,
in. But
I bet.
what do we
So
do
I'm
this
just
week?
kind of ballparking that, if the county has, let's say 40% of the cost of trying to figure out, what the architectural plans will be, or, those kinds of things, then we can start to figure out a little bit of what our part is going to be for the next year or so.
Now, something that Heber City could do this year is they could, at least towards the end of your fiscal year and during the budget,
Mhm. We
you
start
could put an
January.
RFP out. Put an RFP for a design and bid cost,
Okay.
and get quotes.
That would give us a really good idea where to be.
And then that can give us the idea of saying, do we separate the design or do we do a bid? So, or maybe even reach out to a bidder to say, are you willing to give us a rough estimate of, I think that they would probably use the same mechanism that I use, which is just square footage, an average square
Yeah.
footage.
Yeah, we could also see if anybody try to find a place that's built a shelter somewhat close to it.
So
Then you
the
can
ones that
just
the 3.5 is coming from recent actual shelter
Okay.
constructions.
Okay.
So I reached out to San Antonio, who is in their campus building a new clinic, building a new shelter. They're doing a massive expansion right now. And I said, what did your cost come out to?
Mhm.
And they said, here is the price per square foot for clinics, which is significantly higher.
Mhm.
Here's for our redesign.
Mhm.
And then here is the new build. And so I used those
Gotcha.
prices in that quote.
Awesome.
For that. And so I think, yeah,
Well, let's look at this timeline again that the sheriff asked for. And Sheriff, you feel free to write this down too. And Holly, it looks like we need to formalize it, but let's kind of discuss it here. We're looking then in our first meeting in 2026 to have an RFP draft language for a bid to design, and maybe another one for a bid to design and build. Okay? We're probably looking at a 4,000 square foot facility, just to be on the safe side, everybody. We can always shrink down.
I'll have Holly do that now. I'll do that with Holly.
And then we want to get the bid posted, by March, and get the bids back, because in May, well, probably February, but I was thinking we might have our first meeting in February, is all I'm saying, because January is always a little crazy, okay? But if February, things should die down, and we can then dive in and get the RFP issued, approved and issued, get the bids back by the end of March, and that means you guys would have to do a pre-bid meeting with anybody that's interested, get it posted on the state procurement website. I mean, this is a lot of work, I know, but we've got plenty of people that can help you too, that have been through this process.
I've done it once before. There
you go. And then we get our bids back, and so that our next meeting, in our second quarterly meeting in 2026, I don't know why I want to say 27, but 2026, we would select our bid winner. we would have some real figures, we think, of costs, at least for the design, that then we could put into our fiscal year 2027 budget that would go to the entities in May, right, and get approved in June. If we can do it any sooner, that's fine, but at least we can try to meet those minimum deadlines. And then maybe at the same time, we can also figure out, okay, it is comparable to bonding costs one way or the other. We'll have the next year, or at least the next 6 months, the rest of the year, to figure out the funding structure, any particular bonds through the rest of 2026 calendar year. But then in the Heber City fiscal year 2027 budget, which will be the following July 2027, we will hire the GMCG, if we haven't already, and start construction, because we will have figured out all the funding issues and hopefully gotten approval. Obviously, this is very ambitious. I'll bet it will take at least another year past that. But that's the goals, right? If we want to try to move forward and be able to get construction done in 2028, 2029, maybe into 2030. But I think it could be an amazing asset for the community in many ways. And I think it can be animal friendly as well as people friendly, and be able to, keep us on track for the next 50, 75 years, right? And for $5 million, that's not bad. That's not bad. I just hate to pay interest through the nose, because I've seen it in many other places.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so is that the kind of timeline you were looking for, Sheriff?
I think so. I think that's awesome. Does anyone else have any other thoughts?
No,
Yeah.
but based on those notes, can you maybe, we'll kind of put it into kind of a draft?
Yeah, but let's circulate it among the
Yeah.
committee, because we're probably going to come
Sure.
up with more ideas and things. Well, we've got to do this too, and we got to do, let's not be overkilling the steps. But
Oh.
we really need to say we have to address these issues before we can build, right? There's a lot of funding issues there. And like I say, impact fees should be a part of that discussion too.
So if we want to simplify the timeline, from now until February, we probably need to have more conversations with Pause for Life about what partnership are we looking at.
Yeah.
And then from February until budget, we go through the process to identify what is the budgeted cost and funding strategy to be included in the budget process. And then from there, it's included in the budget.
Well, I hope, Heidi, please don't mind me when I say I also think we as a city and Valley need to reach out to other rescues too, to see if they want to participate or if they have other specialized ideas, right, that could fit within the plan that we're talking about. And, try to really bring that collaboration together of other stakeholders that are, long-term viable, reputable partners like Pause for Life, and just see if we can, get that support too.
Absolutely.
And we can also discuss the idea of naming rights. If there's any, potential donors out there that would be interested in getting their name on a building that would represent the finest in animal services.
Yeah, you'll probably only get like maybe $50,000 for naming rights.
But that's
Still
understandable.
50,000.
That's still understandable for the size, and the size and the cost. That's understandable.
So on the building, like you're thinking like outside on the building or inside
Yeah. It would probably be both, and it would be included in the titles, right, of the building and so forth. And we could have a wonderful explanation on our website about why it was named after this donor. And again, this is extra work. This is not anything that will be the main focus, even though when you reach out to other rescues, you could mention that to them, right?
Yeah.
And anyway, let's circulate the timeline and try to narrow it down, that we've got the long, complicated one, and then we got the short one. That's just a few bullet points, right? The fewest bullet points we can, because they'll both keep us on track.
I'm just curious, how long do you think it takes to build this facility? How long?
At least a year. I can't see it being longer at this size. What do you think? It always
Yeah.
depends on the lead time for equipment. We've had terrible lead times
Right.
in other infrastructure needs. I don't think we need to worry about that so much with this building, but I don't know.
So I think this building, shelters do take a little bit longer because there's a extension or a lot of plumbing that goes into it.
Yeah.
To be able to do it right, and HVAC systems and stuff like that, which do take a little bit longer. In addition, we're dealing with a situation where we'd have to do it in phases,
Okay.
where we'd have to build the new portion first and then transfer over. And so, Sheriff, on the Justice Center, how long was that project?
From the planning and design?
Yeah, from once we started,
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So FYI, a 10-year bond at a rate of 4.5, the annual payment would be roughly around 622,000
10-year bond, okay.
for a 10-year bond.
Yeah, that might be a little too steep for everybody for 10 years, sadly. So why don't you try a 15, maybe, or 18-year, if that's even possible. Maybe 20. 20 should cut that in half, right? Which is a lot more doable for a bond, for our budgets, I think. Anyway, everybody, government is slow. So we better add on a year to at least be on the safe side. But I'm not gonna be surprised if it's 2 years, right? And that we finally get it built in 2030, like I said. But if you don't keep working at it, it'll never happen.
Let's get it done by the Olympics.
Good plan.
I've been telling the Olympic Committee that I want their new logo, right, as the weather vane on top of the band shell.
Yeah.
Why can't we get a weather vane at the wonderful animal shelter too, right?
There we go.
Make it look not like a cinder block. Whatever, you know what I mean?
Yep.
We want it to look happy and welcoming, yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it needs sandstone, but I love sandstone everywhere, that's just me. Okay, thank you. So Sheriff.
Mayor, could I ask another question?
Yes, of course.
So just kind of getting a straw poll from some of the entities there. Do you all feel like the way we should move ahead with this is with Heber City taking the lead? At one point, I know that Heber City wanted the county to. Do we need to have any more discussion on that in another meeting? Or what are all your thoughts as far as that part goes? What are you comfortable with?
I have my ideas. Would anybody else like to answer first?
I'm comfortable with either. So I'm used to having animal services as well, but also if the county took it over, I think I'd be okay with that as well. I think maybe we just kind of, as long as we're all part of the discussion, we kind of see where it leads and what ends up being the best for the county. To me, it makes a little bit of sense for the county to take the animal shelter because it's a county-wide function.
Yeah.
It's servicing the entire county versus the city is really, it's not a city service. It's typically cities don't do county-wide services. This is kind of a little bit unique.
Right, yes. It's just evolved that way.
And I'm really comfortable with the setup that we have with the board where I still think everybody has a voice regardless of who the actual chair is. The number of our votes don't change. So I'm pretty comfortable either way.
And what I thought the sheriff was also asking is if, who would take the lead on this big project? To me, it's this board, Sheriff, that needs to take the lead on this project. It can't be the Heber City Council because they're not in these meetings and they don't have any real vote on it other than to say, yep, we accept what the Animal Services Advisory Board has recommended and we will proceed according to those things. I highly doubt at this point, again, new councils can change, new people can change, right? And we might, one of them might decide or offer to be on this board, right, instead of the mayor. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. We'll see how that future comes. But to me, this board would take the lead to go to the cities, to the county, and be able to get this project off the ground and get it done. At least that's the way the MOU reads to me.
But I think the initial phase, I mean, I wouldn't mind working with the sheriff on it either. So, I mean, we could work on a RFP and put it out and just kind of see where it leads.
But this board will have to approve the RFP before it's posted, so we can hopefully get everyone's expertise on that and buy-in, right? And we'll continue that way unless the county feels really strongly that, well, let's do it this other way. Remember, we talked to everyone for 2 years, Sheriff, about how to do this and how to do funding for a new building. And everyone said, well, we'll just do it like this. And we said, okay. So I don't see, since that's been so recent, I don't see a big appetite from the county to try to take things over right now, even with this new construction idea. I don't see it, but it could change.
Heber, what are your thoughts?
Jared, in the last 2 years, as we've talked to the stakeholders, I think that the options for the county, at least the county council at the time, said if they're going to make any change, then let's create an SSD. That's separate. From an administrator, I would argue against that for various reasons, but I think that the county, I think Heber City kind of said, let's not worry about who's managing it, let's just fix and improve the services. And so I think that there's kind of like let's stop asking the question who's managing and let's look at fixing and figuring out how to fix it. Now, that being said, if I think this group turns around and says, you know what, let's go ahead and start paying for animal care services through property tax. And if everybody understands that Heber City will decrease their revenue that they get from property tax, Midway does the same thing, so that the net cost to the resident
is the
same. I think at that point, yeah, well, there can be some financial benefit, or there can be some benefits.
That's quite a lift.
But yeah, I think that's in reality, what will likely happen is we raise the property tax, and then all the entities just kind of absorb and use that increase.
That's not what I'm after by any means, not by any means, because we are having so much struggle, and I'm seeing that on the campaign trail all over the place. And so,
there's not much of an appetite right now.
No, there's not. And that's why, you know, it would be a very minimal thing to me for the county to do the SSD and then assess that, you know, all across the county. I would think it would be quite a minimal thing, and you could get that new facility paid off in 10 years, no problem. You know what I'm saying?
The other nice thing possibly about that is then some of the other places that aren't participating would be forced to almost.
Yeah. But it has to, doesn't the SSD have to go to a public vote? Yeah, that's gonna be the rub. And that's what will really set this all back. So if we can get the entity buy-in to disperse these costs, right, and have it comparable to the design cost, and that might be the only way to get it done, but then we refinance the bond, everybody.
So remember,
in the future, when interest rates go down again, so that, you know, you're not stuck paying all that.
Yeah, and that 4.5% is what we estimate what's going on right now, is what we'd be able to get from a revenue. Keep in mind, I think the key is if we partner with Pause for Life. If Pause for Life, if you're currently looking for a new facility in a new location, then that cost of $5 million will be offset by partially through the partnership with Pause for Life. And so the cost to the residents for the other portion would decrease. So that $5 million may not necessarily need to be the $5 million, it may be less.
Right. It's just sad, by the time we get this done, the costs are going to increase. That's why I said 5 million. Who knows if it'll be 6 million? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's sad. It's so sad to say that. But still, it could be a low-cost project, relatively speaking, and very useful.
Well, I
Okay.
appreciate the tangent for a minute, and
Mhm.
thanks to Heber City for all the work they have done, and we just want to watch out for what they're doing. They've been doing this a long time, so.
Well, you never know, Sheriff. This discussion might lead to an SSD. It might lead to who knows what, right? I just think it's going to be really hard to get the cities to lower their property tax to whatever degree to have the animal services, needs be that on top. I'm not sure about that. That to me is a pretty hard lift. But we've got our work cut out for us, right, in the next year. You really do. We really do. And if we can keep our meetings going and keep organized and keep making progress, even though it'll take time to work through these issues, and we can always call other meetings as we need to when we really got to decide things. We don't just have to stick to the 4 a year. But if we don't, it'll just slow things down. But there's, we'll really push on this and see what we can do to meet our new timeline that Holly's going to do again for us, right? And
yeah.
be sure to space it out so we can add in things. And,
Oh, yeah.
oh, I'm just saying, but that's a really good idea, Sheriff, to have that checklist, so to speak, for us.
Well, if there is anything that our office can do to help Heber City with different
Great.
pieces of that, then please let us know. I can share the fun.
The hard work, share the hard work, because that's what it takes. Wow, good, really good, productive meeting, everyone. I'm so pleased with all the work that you Chief and Justin and Sheriff are doing together. Heber, thank you for your expertise. We can't do this without you. Holly, thank you for picking up all of our slack and making the big, long to-do list again.
Real quick, can
Right?
I just ask a quick question?
Of course.
Does anybody have any concerns that occurred before after the last quarter that they want to bring to our attention at all? Any
Yeah.
issues pop up or anything?
Any participating jurisdiction updates?
No, not at all.
No. And you're not hearing anything from Hideout, Interlochen, Midway?
No.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are we getting any uptick in calls? Are things staying stable with the trends?
Yeah, they're pretty stable.
Pretty stable.
Excellent. Okay, I'm glad to hear that. And do things usually calm down a bit in the winter?
A little bit, not much.
A little bit. Okay. Okay.
It just depends.
And so you've got new things. Let's just kind of go down the list really quick here, right? Okay, air circulation, budget item. Are the entities paying their bills, right?
I got it written.
You're going to now start posting the owner surrenders policy and start to implement that. New animal services badge. County's going to get a template to the chief on the county's language for adopting the Heber City standardized fee schedule on animal violations. And then when you get that to the chief, you can send it out to the other entities. Okay, let's see.
Vehicle graphics will get done.
Oh, yes, vehicle, thank you, that's there. And then you're considering the line item for surgeries in the fiscal 2027
You'll just
budget.
see that in the new budget. I just want to make people
Right,
aware.
and then are we going to bring back a policy for the euthanasia versus rescue animals and the transparency that we're going to give to adopted owners and, that whole system?
Yeah, if I can come up with something.
Okay, because that's on you again, sadly, Holly.
Yeah.
Okay, and
I've written
then
a lot of them.
finally, Holly, you've got a timeline project, the long one and the short one, okay, so that we can present that to the board the first of the year, and we'll come up with a meeting next. We won't close without a meeting for next time. But you're gonna circulate that timeline among us, and we'll take the next month to look at that and try to finalize it through email to the point where we can then present it in 2026 and say, yep, this is our goal, this is what we want to follow, and then we'll go down through those steps and add things as we need to, and we'll we'll go forward after just talking about it for a long time, right, Justin?
Mhm.
Yep. Well, and then if you get that bid on some kind of HVAC system before that, feel free to circulate that to the board members too, and let's just see if it can fit into the budget or not. We may not be able to pull the plug on it till,
Towards the end of the budget.
yeah, third quarter, right? Third quarter, but at least we could get a vendor lined up, hopefully, if it can fit into the budget and you feel like there's
Yep.
gonna be that wiggle room there. Hopefully it's not 50,000, okay, but you never know what the amount of snow that's down there. But whatever is proposed, we want it to continue to be used in the new building. Does that make sense? We don't want to put it in a place where it's gonna be ripped out,
Mhm.
right? We want it to be able to be continuing to be used.
Mhm.
So thank you for thinking about that too. Okay, that's a lot of to-do list. But now, can we set up a date for next year's first quarterly meeting? I'm gonna suggest around the 1st of February, but we could also do it at the end of January if you're interested.
Do we want Holly to just send that out?
Okay, let's look at some
Or do we
dates. Holly, I think that most of us could be open on January 26th, that's a Monday. Or we could go to the February 2nd. I can't, or the 10th, that's a Tuesday again. Maybe the first Thursday, which would be the 5th. I'm not against that either.
Any of those could work.
I'm
Shoot for the 5th. We'll have her sent, and then
Yeah,
let's do it.
I think we could shoot for the 5th, and then we could hopefully get, hopefully you'll know the budget, right, for fiscal year
Yeah,
2027.
we're pretty close.
Right?
Yeah.
You should be pretty much tied down. And then if we can get the timeline agreed to, RFP, chief. You were going to try to get an RFP
I have it
posted in
written down.
January.
I have it written down to, I'll start looking at it.
Yeah, thank you. The RFP for January 2026, so we could perhaps look at bids at that February 5th meeting. That would be really nice and a lot more efficient than waiting another 3 months. So you might, I hate to keep pushing the timeline forward, you might want to consider getting that bid out in December.
Yeah, I'm going to see what I can find on. I'm hoping I can find one to copy a little bit, because it always helps.
I think Heber could be your man to help there.
There's a lot of little nuances in there that we need to push it out and let some other people get a look on it. So
Right.
get their eyes on it before he goes out. So
Mhm.
yeah, we will shoot for that.
Okay, and you can also pre-qualify your bid applicants, as I understand. I'm not quite sure what the process is on that, but you want people to do the bids that are qualified, right? That have this kind of expertise, that we know they've done this before, and that can be part of the RFP. It's their references and previous projects that they've done, just like we did with the last consultants, for the city last week.
Yeah, we can see what we can do.
Is there anything that I've missed, anybody?
Nope.
Okay.
It was a good meeting.
Does anybody want to adjourn?
I'll make a.
Second.
Okay, almost Heidi. Let's see, so that was Heber, the motion.
No, you guys, Sheriff.
Was that Sheriff that made the motion?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Okay, and Heber that made the second, right?
Yeah.
Chief that made the second. Okay, I don't know how I got your voice in there, Heber, sorry.
I started the motion when Sheriff jumped in.
Okay, all right.
Then I started the
All right,
second.
all in favor of adjourning?
We get to
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
thank you. That
Yes.
passes.
Good to see y'all.
Our adjourn. All right, Heidi, if you have not given your information to Holly, please do so that we can keep you in the loop.
County's rate is 40%, right?
What?
Sounds lovely.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thank you all. Yes,
Thank you.
appreciate y'all. Thank you so much.
Of course. Have a good night.